It's always muddy.
How do you think I stay so skinny?
I thought it was our rock and roll level of metabolism,
Yeah.
but
It's just IBS.
It's all the beer.
So what's going on? What have you guys been up to?
Watch Good Omens. It was fantastic.
Is
I
it
loved
good?
It. I
I've
would-
watched the first episode of it.
Michael Sheen and David Tennant, I would watch them together in anything. And it was a book I tried to pick up, and I just couldn't get into it because the Terry Pratchett, Neil Gaiman stuff, doesn't engage me.
Yeah.
But the TV show's wonderful.
Did you watch any? Have you watched any of
American Gods.
American Gods?
I watched a couple episodes, but it's just a little weird.
It is
and
weird.
I couldn't.
It's
couldn't
hard
stick
to
with
it's
it.
hard to keep up with it because I've watched up into the second season, but there's this one of the early episodes when that black woman swallows
People
Bill
with his
Murray's brother
vagina.
with her vagina.
Yeah.
It was because I was watching with my old lady. It was just a little disturbing.
Yeah,
And
If it was Deadwood, they would have called it the Cunt Crunch.
yeah.
But yeah, I was. I remember reading that in the book. I was on fire guard in the Army while I was in Fort Meade, and I was reading that book because it was an all-night guard shift, and so I was reading it, and I was like, "Damn, what did I just read?"
I couldn't get into Shadow Moon's character. Is Shadow Moon?
Yeah,
I just didn't. He wasn't an engaging character.
you know who
to
I
me.
find more interesting on the show is the leprechaun guy or
oh yeah,
that's Liev Schreiber's cousin.
no shit.
Yeah. He was did you ever watch Orange is the New Black?
Yeah.
He was one of the guards. He was Porn Stash
Yeah,
in Orange is the New Black.
Porn Stash. Well, he was in The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be Master Chief in the Halo series.
no kidding.
He's a good actor.
He's a really good actor.
And he's good and I like watching him more than I like watching what's the guy's character?
Shadow Moon.
Shadow Moon. And I like watching Shadow Moon's dead girlfriend.
Yeah,
I don't know if I made that. It's been a while. I tried to.
Their
watch it
storyline
the
is
first
more
season.
compelling and more interesting.
and Ian McShane is fantastic.
Yes.
He's such a good.
He
Odin.
chews up the scenery every time he has
There
a
just wasn't enough of him early on to
Right,
get me into
exactly.
it. It was like all this guy that I really don't care about.
Well, and in the book, I think they did a good job of casting it because he's kind of a Neo character where he needs to be just kind of a brick wall, and he's new to the world. He doesn't have a whole lot of personality.
right.
He doesn't know who he is yet, and so I get it, but also those are really hard to translate to the screen as a character. Like
Yeah,
Just
and
to look at that and be like, okay, I can project myself on that dude. Like, no, I can't. I just can't.
The thing I'm looking forward to is if Neil Gaiman's into it, they'll make another season of Good Omens. And I don't know exactly what they would do, but they've got
did you work yourself? You're through the whole season of it.
it's only 6 episodes.
Okay,
But
so I need to finish watching it then.
Mars and I might sit down and watch it tomorrow then.
Michael Sheen and David Tennant, they've got such a chemistry as an angel and demon. I would watch them do anything. They could just sit down and have dinner for an episode. Because there's one episode where the intro, they've got like the snippet and then they play the intro with all the cast and stuff. The intro is half the show and it's just them through time. The shenanigans they got up to and how they became friends.
You're talking about the first episode, or is it another episode?
It's another episode.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
I
like-
want that
It's
episode.
like
then.
it's like halfway through, but it's like, man, I would watch it if it was. I would watch episode after episode if it was just them
That.
having shenanigans through the ages.
Yeah, because I mean, the more interesting part for me was the very beginning, the opening,
Oh yeah, and
the conversation
yeah.
between them. Yeah.
Oh, it's so well done. And John Hamm plays Gabriel, and the angels are just so dumb, and the one of the head demons. I recognize him from Peaky Blinders. He plays one of their Cousins or something that runs the barges on the dock or on the river. I don't know what his name is, but man, what a great show! And Michael McKean is
Always good.
always good.
Ever since I saw him in Clue, I was like,
Oh, and now
That dude's
Amazon has
awesome.
Clue, and Trisha's never seen Clue. I was like,
No.
oh, it's one of the best movies ever
we need
made.
to remedy that.
I've ended friendships because people didn't like Clue.
I've been trying to talk Alex into watching it because he loves the board game.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Is Clue a new one?
No,
No,
Clue is
1986,
86,
87?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tim Curry, Michael McKean.
Martin Mull.
Uh,
Oh, God. Madeline Kahn.
Yeah, Madeline
Like-
Kahn.
I had a crush on Madeline Kahn for a minute.
Flames? Flames?
Side of my face, breathing, heaving breaths. Calm down. Oh, and who's the lady that plays Miss Scarlet?
I don't know, but she's gorgeous.
Speaking of childhood crushes,
Gorgeous. The dresses she wore.
she played. She's been in a lot of stuff. Where she was a mistress, actually. She was. I think she was on Will and Grace, and she played Will's dad's mistress, that ended up being his wife. And God, why can't I remember her name?
But Tim Curry's always amazing.
Yeah.
And it's one of his best roles.
And he's the butler, and
Yeah.
he's just hilarious. And they play up the mystery really well. And they did something cool in the theatrical release. They had A, B, and C, and the movie had different endings, like the board game. There were different killers every time, and you could go to different showings and see a different ending. And then in the home video / HBO release, it shows you one ending, and it says, that's how it could have happened, but what about this? And then they show you the next one. And then, but here's what really happened, and it does the last one. And it was one of those cool ideas that just didn't take off and would now be great.
It was ahead of its time.
Oh, way ahead of its time.
Like Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
Last Action Hero is one of those ones, like, it's poking fun at Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, except it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And I think like 5 years later, it would have been a huge hit, because you go back and watch it and you're like, they're making jokes that they wouldn't have made, that no one else was making at that time. And Charles Dance is the best villain that's ever
Yeah,
been.
I remember we talked about that once before, and I still need to go back and rewatch that. But I agree with you, just kind of based on like my foggy memory of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was one of those ones that I think would hold up more as a classic now if they.
Oh, it's totally a
yeah.
classic now. It holds up like like Clue does,
And the cast, I mean, well, like I said, Charles Dance, Anthony Quinn, F. Murray Abraham, like, there's so many people. And then, like, when he gets pulled into the real world and he tries to punch the window out of a taxi and it doesn't work,
and he shoots it a
and-
bunch of times. Why didn't it explode?
and he's like, it hurts so bad. And he broke the window still, but it was like, ow, that really hurt.
And doesn't Ian McKellen play Death?
Yeah.
Ian McKellen's in Last Action Hero. It's
I gotta watch that now.
Christopher Lloyd is in Clue.
Christopher Lloyd he
He's-
plays Professor Plum.
Yeah.
Michael McKean is Mr. Green.
Oh, speaking of Christopher Lloyd, you know what movie? This is a kind of a departure from that a little bit, but I caught bits and pieces of this the other day, and I was like, God damn it, this movie's fucking good. Is Dennis the Menace.
Oh, when he played the bum.
When he
He was
played
the
he played the
drifter.
bum,
Yeah.
but like, I mean, the acting in it's actually really pretty decent, and even like the kid that plays Dennis.
Yeah, there's some really good child
I
actors
can't
out
say I ever watched it more than once, and that was a long, long
And-
time ago.
And
I remember not
Walter
like
Matthau
it,
is
not
Mr.
caring much
Wilson.
for it, but I was at that kind of age too. I think I was probably
14-ish.
14ish when it came out, so I was like, nah, this isn't mine. This is.
This is dumb. This is a kid's movie.
But my kids are watching it, and I was like, man, this is not bad. And again, Walter Matthau
That whole bathroom scene, like,
with the
Dennis has replaced everything with something else.
yeah
And, like, he puts the,
dentures in,
yeah.
and he's got chiclets in his teeth.
And, like, mouthwash instead of eye drops or something. And
Ooh.
the whole thing, it's this perfect little comedy of errors. And it just keeps getting worse for Walter Matthau. And you're like, I saw Dennis do all of this, and it's still funny watching it happen.
Well, and Matthau delivers on that. Like
does.
you see it, like you watch it when you're younger and you're like, man, he's a curmudgeon, but man, he's like acting the shit out of it.
Yeah.
This is good acting.
I thought you were going to say Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead.
Oh, that's a good
love
movie.
that movie. Boy, the internet
Matthias
does
introduced
not
me to
like
that movie.
Probably me too.
Yep. That and Boondock Saints and Reservoir Dogs and
Oh yeah, Boondock Saints.
True Romance. That movie is a classic.
True Romance is one of my favorites. I'd say it probably
Gary Oldman.
it might be a better Tarantino story than even Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Just the story
He must
itself.
have thought it was White Boy Day. Yeah.
And Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken in
That scene
about,
is one
about
of the
Sicilians is so good. And like you said about Good Omens, like some people you can just watch them sit down and have a conversation, and that one it's so tense, and you know that Dennis Hopper is going to die,
And Dennis
you know
Hopper
that
knows
Dennis Hopper knows
he's
he's going to die, and Christopher Walken lets him go through that whole speech, and you're just like, man, if I could go out like that, I would go out like that. Just absolutely talking shit. Speaking of Christopher Walken, did you see Stand Up, guys?
I don't think so.
Him and Al Pacino and Alan Arkin.
No.
It's not terrible.
It's not. It's a fun little thing, and it's got like Al Pacino's character gets out of prison after 28 years, and Christopher Walken picks him up, and they go through, and it's not. I don't know. It's predictable, and the wheelchair guy, Salamanca, the guy that plays Tio Salamanca, is
I
the
don't
bad
remember
guy.
his
I can't pull the actor's name, but yeah.
He's
Mark Margolis.
like multi-ethnic. He plays a bunch of different
Yeah.
races in shows. He plays Italian. He plays Mexican.
And the one episode in Californication that David Duchovny's dad is in, he plays David Duchovny's dad.
Wow.
And season 1, episode 8, I think it is. It's the best episode of the whole series. He just nails it from start to finish.
Have you seen Kings with Ian McShane and a whole bunch of nobodies? Oh, except for Sebastian Stan's in it.
Yeah, Sebastian Stan. I was gonna say.
It was like the Book of Kings from the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
A one
damn
season-
shame that got canceled. It was on the wrong network.
Yeah.
It was.
NBC had it.
It was so
Have
good.
they ever done anything right?
Probably not.
The
I think-
Office.
I think they've canceled everything at one season that's been worth the shit.
Well, and the ones that they don't, they bleed them to death.
Yeah.
Like, I still feel like The Blacklist was a better show the first season and maybe the second than it like now it's just kind of wasting. It's just filler.
I don't think we got through more than 2 seasons.
Yeah, the
It
first
just-
2 seasons are the only ones that are worth that. The first one especially. It's so good.
Yeah, I feel like they I don't know. I think there's more to be told in like 12 episode seasons of 8 to 12 episodes on something, because you can write a better story. You can isolate the story into
Yeah.
like
And it's good that you caveated that to 8 to 12, because Netflix has a problem of really wanting to make them 13 episodes. And like
When in
Jessica Jones would have been better the first season had it been 8 episodes. Luke Cage could have been 8 episodes. Most of those Marvel ones should have been 8 episodes, but there's those filler episodes somewhere in the middle that you're like,
You lose interest.
You didn't need to do that.
and why is Netflix doing that? Why they
need
don't have
stick
to
with
because
that model because people
because it's,
binge it anyway.
it's all
So
binged
just
anyway.
have your story and then break it into parts, and it's like we're gonna do 9 episodes this season.
And it was cheaper than
And-
doing 13, and we're still getting the same fucking
Well,
subscription
and Punisher,
rates that we
And
were
it's a
getting before.
better show.
Yeah.
Punisher was the same way. They had that filler episode in the middle where the guy was gonna blow up the building, that little kid with PTSD, and I was like, that was dumb. It was unnecessary, and
And it drove the attention away from the main storyline.
Yeah.
And it's like you need this sense of urgency to get the main storyline done, and it's like, well, I'm just gonna fuck off for this day.
and Luke
Right.
Cage, they never should have got rid of Mahershala Ali.
No, he
He's-
should have been the bad guy up through the end, because after the midway point when he went out, it was boring.
And then the second season, I just couldn't pick up because Juice and the female, like, it didn't grab me. I don't know. I think
I didn't
they
even
really
try to
screwed
start
up
watching
most of those Marvel Netflix shows. Daredevil was the only one that had 3 solid seasons. And
But it had
Punisher
enough-
made season 2 of that.
It had enough solid characters that they could jump off
Yeah.
on other storylines without making it feel like filler.
Right. Because Karen is good.
And so
Foggy is good.
Foggy had
Would have characters you care about.
yeah, Foggy had so much character development.
And I enjoyed both seasons of The Punisher.
Yeah.
I think there was some filler there that could have been, they could have trimmed the fat, but it didn't drag. Like the first season of Jessica Jones where he escapes too many times. Like you catch him and he gets away, and you catch him and he gets away, and you catch him and he gets away, and that was pointless because they had good extra ones too. Like Carrie Ann Moss's character is amazing. What Hogarth, just fantastic. And I don't know, they burnt a lot, and I never did watch season 3. I might eventually, but
I didn't enjoy Jessica Jones at all. I was really disappointed in Kristen Ritter and her
lack of physicality.
Yeah, lack of physicality, because she did not look like she was super strong at all. Where all of the other actors in Marvel shows, they prep for months. I am really looking forward to Thor: Love and Thunder because I think Natalie Portman is not going to phone it in now.
Oh, did you
I
see
think
Annihilation?
she's throwing the fuck down. Annihilation.
Is she coming back for?
Yeah.
She's
Thor?
gonna
She's gonna be Girl Thor.
They were saying female Thor, but it's actually going to be Mighty Thor. They're going to call her Mighty Thor.
Yeah.
But she's going to get ripped for it, and I'm really looking forward to it because she's in the first one. They told her she was going to be a character and not just a side piece, and she ended up being a fucking side piece. You don't do that, Natalie Portman. She already did that in the Star Wars prequels, and it's like, yeah, we know what happened there. So.
She went from a queen.
What happened?
She went from a queen to a pregnant woman.
I really believe that Natalie Portman is going to go 110% on this, and she's going to blow everybody's mind.
Yeah.
That's
She
my
she
prediction.
has to too,
And that's
because
why I
she's
brought up Annihilation, because
Well,
she's been
she-
kind of
Otherwise, she wasn't even going to come back. But I think with Waititi and the way Thor is now, I'm
it's more along the lines of
really
what I think she
looking
wanted
forward to
from
it.
Thor 2. But she's in Annihilation, and she's a biologist who did her time in the military, and it shows that she at least went to the range a few times and learned how to hold an M4. And Valkyrie's in it from Thor 3. God, who's the one when Kurt Russell broke the guitar in Hateful Eight? Who's the girl?
Oh,
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
yeah.
She's in it. The guy from the 2 new Star Wars movies.
Yeah,
Oscar
Poe.
Isaac is in it.
I really like Oscar Isaac. He's a great actor.
And that movie goes
He's
in so many different directions. Like
one of my favorites in the Star Wars movies.
yeah, he does really well. I like.
They just
I think they.
that
fucked
second
him in
movie is
most-
just fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like that. Ryan Johnson or Ryan Johnson or whatever the fuck his name is. That dude's just a douche. And how combative he is with people on the internet. Like, you don't like it because you're sexist. No, I don't. I just don't like Commander Blue Hair or Purple Hair or whatever and her nonsense. Oh, we didn't tell you because you didn't need to know the plan. Like, why doesn't he need to know the plan? He's been like your guy for years now in this New Republic.
Yeah, I'm looking
Former
forward to
Commander, that's Laura Dern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I've never liked the way she looks. She's one of those horse faces.
Oh, I don't even care about her appearance. I just didn't like the character.
No,
it was
let's
like,
talk about her appearance.
It was like
Yeah.
a big fuck you to everybody.
Yeah.
We're going to
I'm
talk
gonna
about
put
appearance.
this-
Let's talk about Carrie Fisher in Star Wars. Wow.
And
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
her ruined septum.
Wow.
I don't understand. Like, no, you were gorgeous.
God, I
in
hope
Empire
when I
Strikes
first
Back.
saw her get
Yeah.
sucked out into space, I was like, yes, they killed her just like that. Fuck you, fanboys. And it's like, oh no, she forced cocoons.
Fucking Carrie Poppins.
But what was the point?
There was no
There was-
point.
They should have because
should've
she'd
let her go
already
out
died
one.
before the movie released. They should have let her go out that
They
way.
should have let her go out
And they just cut
getting
all her.
blown to shit by her son. That'd have
Yeah.
been huge. But apparently hers was supposed to be the third movie, and it didn't work out that way. Like this was Luke's, the first one was Han's, and hers was supposed to be the next one.
Doesn't she show up in the next one?
Yeah.
Probably. They're probably going to
Just
do
like
that
Grand Moff
Disney
Tarkin.
magic.
I thought they weren't gonna do the CG with her.
They have no souls.
Who knows?
Nobody fucks with the mouse. Come on.
Disney owns all. Disney is all.
Pretty soon
I,
it will
for
be
one,
that. It will be.
Welcome our new rodent overlord. I don't mind.
I don't, because you can get everything in one place.
To have the
Exactly.
Disney catalog and the Simpsons, all they need is they've got all the Fox
They've got-
cartoons now.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have everything that's animated.
Yeah.
Everything that matters that's animated, especially that we grew up with, Disney owns it.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one. This came out. Oh, how do you spell tunes in Looney Tunes?
TOONS.
Okay.
TUNES.
Different people remember it different ways. They're pushing TOONS now.
Because it's Toontown,
Right.
like
but,
cartoon.
But
But
when
Merry
it was Merry
Melodies
Melodies
was
and
Looney Tunes.
Tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it used to be tunes like songs, and now they're pushing it as
Well, yeah, Bugs Bunny and all that
TOONS.
stuff. It was TUNES.
and
TUNES.
yeah, it's one of those things like Berenstain Bears or
Oh yeah, the spelling. Yeah.
and and what does Snow White's evil stepmother say to the mirror?
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Who's the prettiest, loveliest of them all?
I saw one today.
Fairest. Fuck.
Ferris is right, but and it shows the old thing, but she says magic mirror on the wall.
Really?
Yeah,
In the original.
yeah, but I remember it as mirror mirror.
I wonder why
Always.
that is.
I always remember as mirror, mirror.
Yeah, and I pulled up the video, and she's saying magic mirror, and it's one of those, they call it the mandala effect, like shit that you remember one way has shifted and changed to something else, and they're doing it with like Looney Tunes right here. But if you look on your Siri calls it TOONS.
You know why it's? You know what's happening is you're taking those two O's from Looney and applying them in your head to tunes as well.
Right, and it's cartoons,
Yeah.
so Toontown,
Yeah.
yada yada. But this is how I remember it being, TUNES.
Right.
But Siri will tell you it's TOONS.
See, from these days, I don't remember Looney Tunes as much as I do Merry Melodies, though.
Right.
I wonder if how's that spelled? MERRY?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Merry Melodies cartoons. Oh, RRIE.
IE.
Why do they have to fuck everything? Thank you, Warner Brothers.
But yeah, I mean, if you look, there's a subreddit called Retcon where they talk about things that you remember one way, but now are a different way, and the internet has changed with it. And so they're like, well, I don't know. But it's all, yeah.
Independence Day. The Will Smith, Welcome to Earth. It's not in the movie, but everybody thinks he says Welcome to Earth when he punches the alien in the head.
Or Luke, I am your father.
Yeah.
No, I am your father. And all of that stuff that people remember one way but it's shifted.
Yeah.
Or, like, is it just people
Was the
remembering
Welcome to
about-
Earth in the trailer though?
Yeah,
That's what I think.
I'm pretty sure it was in
I
the
haven't watched the trailer in forever. But he doesn't say it in the movie, but everybody, that's like his catchphrase.
Yeah, welcome to Earth.
Let's see here.
Fucking genie.
Let's see what we come up with.
Man, 96, I remember going to see that in the theater.
Do you remember having one of those little golf things?
Yeah.
I think you should listen to this.
You remember trailers like this?
This better not be another damn Russian spy job. Boy from air traffic red say the skies are clear.
It's the real thing. A radio signal from another world.
You should be very scared now.
President, our intelligence tells us the object is settled into a stationary orbit.
Two
Part of
words,
it is
Mr.
broken off into nearly
President.
3 dozen
Plausible
pieces. It's smaller than the
deniability.
Yet over 15 miles in width themselves.
Where are they heading?
It should be entering our atmosphere within the next 25 minutes.
The first time I saw the Twin Towers destroyed.
Watch for almost a minute before
just
Will
get there.
Smith enters
As quickly as
the
What's the rush,
trailer.
huh? Think we'll get to Washington and won't be
God
here?
bless Joker.
Speaking of, he didn't age a minute
It'll be
between those two
It'll be a
movies.
sad day when he croaks.
The unexplained phenomenon is headed for Moscow.
It's like in chess. First, they're positioning their pieces using this one signal to synchronize their efforts. And then what? Checkmate.
God.
I really don't think they flew 90 billion light years to start a fight.
God, I hope they bring back Elvis.
There's gonna be a lot of frightened people out there.
Yeah. I'm one of them.
Sorry. Is this a Roland Emmerich?
I believe it is.
I think so, yeah.
Celebrate our Independence Day. Something you want to add to this briefing, Captain Hiller?
No, sir. Just a little anxious to get up there and whoop E.T.'s ass, that's all.
Oh, that one didn't even have it.
Weird.
Boy, trailers used to be great.
Yeah, they did.
You know who's trying to do those trailers now is Lionsgate.
Really?
They're trying to I feel that's, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel that that's what Lionsgate's trying to capitalize on is like the nostalgia of old
mid-nineties
trailers. Like
plus
they're
nostalgia vibes.
drawing in like our parents with the way they kind of put those trailers together.
Do your parents go to the theater very often?
No.
Neither does my mom.
Yeah, my dad.
But I would put money on the last theater movie my mom saw might have been Passion of the Christ.
No, she and Jim have gone to a couple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of those Lionsgate
Didn't we
movies
go to
are
Passion of the
Yeah.
Christ with her?
are like
And then
B
Duke
movie
Brooklyn.
movies. Like all the Bruce Willis ones
Yeah.
that he does, those are like those B movie.
But that's pretty much what Bruce Willis does now is B movies.
Yeah.
They're not even good action movies.
No.
They're just bad movies.
And he plays. There was
He's
one
just
he was in.
getting a paycheck.
There was one he was in with Anakin Skywalker. It was
Really?
terrible. Yeah, I can't even remember the name
Hayden
of it.
Christensen. He's been in a couple of good movies.
He's not a bad actor.
I can't imagine getting out on the big screen and getting to a wide audience and being in the fucking prequels.
Yeah,
It's just so bad because the lines are so bad.
they are.
They're terrible.
The
Ewan
worst-
McGregor
the
did a
worst
great
fucking
job, though.
dialogue.
In all three of those.
But still, Obi-Wan is such a trash character through the whole thing. All he does is fucking complain. He stands around and complains about everything. Seriously, I'm sure you could find something that was like, why does Obi-Wan suck in the prequels? And it'll just be loops of everything he sits back on
in
the
the
ship.
second one, he's like a private detective. It's fucking fantastic. He's like, why is shit not in the archives? Well, if it's not in the archives, then it doesn't exist. And then he goes and talks to Yoda, and Yoda's like, maybe somebody just jacked it out of there. And sure enough, that's what happened. Kamino's right there, and people know it. But it got retconned in the articles or in the archives, and Obi-Wan figured that shit out, and then he went and fought that douchebag Mandalorian.
That actually was pretty good.
Jango Fett. It was a good little scrap. You were like, oh, look, normal people can't. Well, semi-normal people can stand up to Jack. Yeah, I don't know. Every one of his lightsaber fights was on point. From the Duel of the Fates at the end of the first one, as much as that first movie sucked balls, like him and Qui-Gon Jinn against Darth Maul was a fantastic lightsaber
That should have just
fight.
been this whole movie.
I remember walking out of that theater and just thinking like that was so cool. And then I was like, wait a minute, no, that movie was balls.
Pod racing?
But
What?
That last fight was fantastic.
Oh yeah, it really does it.
And the fight, I mean, I don't know if I agree that Yoda should have been a dervish, but whatever.
It
He's
was
a
fun to
frog
see.
Thing. And Alex is convinced that Yoda is just an old Mogwai.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's legit.
An ancient Mogwai.
And we pulled up some side-by-side photos of Gizmo and Yoda, and it was like, that could work. That could really work. And
now
then-
Disney just needs to buy Amblin.
Yeah.
They probably, dude. Their return on buying Marvel. What they buy them for?
$4 billion?
$4 billion, and they've made 10, not
10,
10 times
15.
that. Yeah, 10 or yeah.
They've made 10 or 15 billion. I mean, you got to look at it like,
Well, and does Spielberg even really use Amblin anymore?
I don't think so.
He mostly is a DreamWorks guy now.
Yeah.
Sounds like a gay fuck club. DreamWorks. I met a guy at DreamWorks.
He's done
What
Amblin.
movie was
He's
that? Oh, that Zack and Miri Make a Porno. That's what that's from.
Zack and Miri was a really good movie.
Yeah. It really was.
you looking forward to the Jay and Bob sequel?
Maybe.
I really like Strikes Back. It's enjoyable, and it has so many fantastic one-liners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am the Click Commander.
I think it could be okay.
And the cameos. The cameos are spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it like I was reading, it rekindled his friendship with Affleck
Really?
too, doing this. Yeah, because they kind of like grew apart
Because
there for a while. 'Cause,
Affleck's kind of a douche.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm Batman. It's like, no, you're not. You went from playing Batman to I'm going to direct and star in as Batman, the Batman. Well, I'm not going to direct it now. Well, I'm not even going to play Batman now.
He's got
well,
some addiction problems, doesn't he?
oh yeah, but
Yeah.
he's just a fuckbag.
He drinks and plays poker. You know who I hear is
Too
a
much
real
gambling.
fuckbag? Is Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, but he plays poker too.
Well, yeah, that was where the stories all came from. Was some woman who set up those card games. He was always mean to her.
He's a
And
fucking
like,
douche.
This chip's $1,000. I'll give it to you if you bark like a dog. She wouldn't do it, and he just lost it. And
I've always thought about asking just people sometimes like, I'll give you $1,000 if you just do this. It's like, I don't do it because I don't want to give people $1,000. But
Just
when
to
I'm
test
drunk,
him.
I'll start like our buddy Wayne was talking about. Yeah, this table doesn't look too strong. I think if I tried, I could put my hand through it. I was like, I'll give you $1,000 if you can put. I was really drunk, and obviously he wasn't going to put his hand through the table, so I felt comfortable. I will give you $1,000 if you put your hand through this table, because I was just looking for him to mangle his hand. Like, you don't even have to give me $1,000 if you lose. I will just give it to you if you can do it.
Jesus, what table? The one in your
Your
living room?
table,
My
yeah.
table. Rick
Yeah,
got that
it's-
table for free,
it's
so
fo-
he wasn't even going to be out at
It's
table.
faux granite, but it's still strong enough that you could dance on top of it and not put a foot through it. So I don't think a human being's going to put their fist through it.
Yeah. Wow.
Is that a dinner table?
Yeah,
This is table talk.
kind of like a dining table. It's like
It's almost like you'd put in a breakfast
Tall,
nook. It's a little
yeah.
taller. It's got some tall chairs on it.
sitting for four.
Yeah. It's definitely a breakfast nook table. Not like a full
How thick is
elegant
it?
dining.
Fuck, I bet it's
Thicker
probably
than
about that
that.
thick.
Maybe a quarter-inch thicker than this.
I
And
bet
it's
I
got
could
the-
put my fist through it.
I'll give you 1,000. I don't have 1,000.
Yeah, I
just
would-
bought a house. Like,
I would like to see someone mangle their hand trying to put their fist through this table. So
All right, let's go.
we're taking this show
Let's
on the
do
road, bitches.
So I watched was it Derek or was it you that told me? You didn't tell me to watch Creep.
no,
'cause
No,
you
Derek
didn't
that
like
was
was
me.
me.
a
I
Derek
still haven't seen it.
Suggestion. It was garbage, and so was the sequel.
I liked him.
Did you?
Yeah.
I couldn't. I watched both of them, and I was like, this is so dumb. But I don't like that guy, for one. What's his name?
The main guy?
Yeah.
He wrote it. It's the guy from The League.
Mm.
Will Forte.
No,
Name?
it's
Oh, he's got a stupid name.
Duplass, Mark Duplass.
Yeah, It's a
Is
stupid
that
name.
yeah?
He does stuff with his brother too, the Duplass brothers.
No, I didn't watch it. But we watched the trailer, I think. Yeah, it's the one where the guy comes and is going to record him.
Yeah.
we watched the trailer looked okay. I just didn't watch it.
Yeah, it was trash.
But I only get a few hours a week anymore.
You don't have Netflix anymore either.
No, I haven't had Netflix since February.
Yeah.
But I'm getting close to getting
To
it again
re-upping it?
because man, they're just keep crushing out the content, and there's stuff I do want to watch.
It just
All
seemed
Glow's
like
coming
one of
back
those-
Really.
Oh, is it?
soon. Soon, I think.
And last season of Orange Is the New Black, I couldn't finish the
Oh,
previous
they keep-
season.
They keep
It's
popping
not
up.
bad.
I just lost interest after the whole season that was a riot. It just went on too long, and I stopped caring about the characters. And now it's the aftermath of that, and I don't give a fuck.
This one's tying up loose ends, so it's all right.
It'll
It's
be
not-
worth watching. Yeah.
It's the end, and I care enough from the first 3 seasons that I'll watch the final season.
yeah.
But I watched the riot, and I watched the post riot, and Piper getting out. I just don't like her.
No, yeah.
The main character.
Once,
is
her
really
character
shitty.
is unlikable. It's the rest of the
And
cast that
There's so many
does it
people
for me.
like in the first couple seasons. Rosa, the cancer lady.
Yeah,
she's
Rose is
so
great. She's even
And-
better in the second one where they give her more when they do her backstory.
Yeah, and and my favorite of the Star Trek captains is the Russian.
Oh,
ancient
Red.
woman.
Yeah.
Red is fantastic. I love Kate Mulgrew though,
yeah.
and but Piper and that '70s girlfriend. Like
I just want to
don't
see that
care.
70s girlfriend naked. She needs to be naked more, and she's not naked anymore. So
She's not naked enough.
Yeah.
I remember explaining. I think I was telling Uncle Stu about that. I was like, "Yeah, man, Orange Is the New Black." He's like, "Does it have the gal from that '70s show?" I was like, "Yeah," and you get to see her tits. He's like, "I should probably watch that movie or that show." I was like, "Yeah, you probably should at
You
least
should-
watch a little of it
You
because
should
she
probably just watch
has
the
a
first
nice
season.
rack."
She does, but I don't know. That doesn't sell me on things anymore.
No.
No, I won't watch a show just for tits.
I think it's because we're drawn in on 40.
But
That might be part of it. Yeah.
back in the day, I would watch a show just for the tits. If I was a younger man, it'd be like Game of Thrones. Oh yeah, they're showing boobs all the time, and I don't know about that hanging dong, but boobs.
The gratuitous stuff just doesn't hold me anymore.
There-
And I don't think there's even a point of showing sex in
Unless
a
it drives
movie.
the story forward,
And it
there
does.
is no point.
like you can just have them kissing, it dims down, comes back up, and they fuck.
Get
Yeah,
back
they
on the
do.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Well, you and my dad, it would be like kismet because he's.
I don't need to see some dude's bare ass pumping away between some
Yeah.
gal's legs.
But
You
I'm
could
the same
just
way.
tell
But I
me
mean,
they
like,
did it.
like it annoys him. He's like, I got to fast forward through that
you're
stuff. to
just
get to the-
wasting my time.
Yeah.
And
I didn't pick this up to watch a porno halfway
like-
through.
Who's the girl from American Pie that's the big dyke who's a junkie and in Orange?
Oh,
is the
and
New
this is
Black?
Orange Black. I don't know
When,
what
you
her name is.
know, she's like fisting people.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And she's trying to fuck everybody in the prison, and you're just like, what's the point of this? Like, I get that there's,
I
there's
think some of the-
homosexuality in prison, but I don't need to see them fucking in the church under the lectern. I don't need to see that all the time. Like, you get the idea across.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's it. You don't need to. I mean, if you need to have nudity, like have bullshit in the shower or whatever. Like just, I don't know. It never. There's never an instance where people are fucking and I need to see it.
I think there are a
Story advancement.
there
Right.
has to be an audience for it if they continue to do it. Someone watches shows specifically for the fucking.
Well, yeah, but we were all 14-year-old boys at one point. But like those aren't people with money. Like I wasn't out buying shit when I was 14.
Well, what about that Epstein guy? I bet he watches Orange is the New Black just for the fucking. Well, they're not underage, so
Yeah.
They're not in his bracket.
what he probably watches that Euphoria show. I haven't watched any of that. I think it's on. Is it on HBO?
Is that the
Yeah.
one with the girl from Spider-Man Homecoming?
Yeah.
Zendaya.
What these
That first
fucking
episode's
names
not
they
bad.
have now. I'm not interested in shows geared for younger people at all anymore.
Yeah.
Like anything on the CW.
I can't imagine. I seriously, in like real world, I can't imagine what it would be like to grow up these days, and I don't care to have it portrayed on TV for me because I already think it would suck balls.
I can't imagine.
Being connected to
Having
everybody
Facebook
else all the time. Fuck, I would have, I probably would have killed myself growing up, first. Second, I would be a fucking basket case. Not having, you got to have that time after interacting with your peers to absorb it and
Process it.
yeah,
basically
process it.
sulk.
Yeah.
And sit in your own sorrow for a while and just like
and be ashamed of the stupid shit that came out of your mouth during the day and have the time to figure it out, and I'm not going to do that again.
I didn't have that problem when I was younger. Like, I was never ashamed of anything I said or did.
That is a unique position to be in.
I was probably 35 before I ever thought, maybe I shouldn't be such a fucking...
Oh, yeah. I'd say unique position is right. I would do things where I remember telling a kid, and this was probably an accurate statement, I remember saying, you know what? Nobody likes you. Like, I got pissed and like, but it just completely backfired on me.
I think more people need to be told that when they're younger.
Oh, well, I mean, I was in the right, I had the right idea, just not the right setting. And it was just like, and I picked the wrong like time and place. I was like, nobody likes you. You think everybody likes you, but nobody, and like, I mean, it just backfired on me hard.
And it showed, and everybody was like, no, Ward, we don't like you.
Yeah.
And you should go home and kill yourself.
Jesus.
I don't remember if it was quite that severe, but
I don't know if those people were
I was
quite as
definitely
mean.
shamed.
It probably felt like that.
But
No,
it felt,
shame
yeah,
is
it
a
felt
wonderful thing.
shitty.
It's a growing
They weren't Huddleston mean.
experience. Oh, you should have said, get me a beer. Man. No, growing up today would suck ass.
But, I mean, could you imagine? Well, like when we used to sneak out of the house in junior high. Like if somebody had been posting that shit on Facebook,
Oh, yeah.
we never would have got to run around as much as we did.
But we also, I don't know.
And it's not like we did anything that was wrong. We were just out because it was like that was as America as anything I've ever done.
You were
Like,
we
it'd
were
have been
we
more
were
American
basically
if
the
we
last
had gone out
generation
and
that had that freedom to
get-
do kind of those, just run around.
and
Crushing
that was
poon
it.
and
It was
stuff.
it was so
Yeah,
free.
that's what it was.
To be able to go out in the middle of the night and not we were in Asotin, so there were no cops.
And there really was
And
nothing to do.
There was nothing to do, but you could just walk around and no one was telling you what to do at all. And when you're 13 or 14, that is such a gift.
And you hide from the handful of cars with like, so I was thinking about this is totally spinning it away. So a couple is 2, a few is 3, a handful is 4 or 5, maybe 6, several is 7 or more, and then where do you go after that?
A
Fuck
pant
ton.
load. It's pant load.
I don't know. When I'm
shit
delivering
load,
mail during the day,
fuck
this
ton.
is some of the stuff that pops in my head. It's like, so yeah, these are the terms I use. I wonder if everybody thinks of the same numbers when I use them, because obviously a couple is 2,
Yeah.
a few is 3, and then what's a handful? Well, a handful
5 or
varies.
4 to 6
Yeah,
ish. But
and then you got
usually I
several,
think
and after that, it's
handful is
just too
5.
many to count on a hand. So
A handful is the term I would toss out. That would be like
5.
more than a few. So yeah, you're
but
in that.
less than several.
Yeah.
Is there anything that comes after several though?
Pant load. Then shitload, then fucked up.
I'm
Obviously,
sorry,
you
I got
guys
away
skipped
from.
physics.
We were on
Jesus.
we were on 90s Americana, and I totally went into.
No, that's
No,
okay.
that's okay. That's a good divergence. I like.
Well, that reminds me, the one movie, and I don't remember if it was with you guys. We talked about this before, but did you ever watch? These kids are older, like young college age kids, but it kind of it was a Linklater movie. Suburbia.
It sounds kind of familiar.
Steve
Steve
Zahn's in
Zahn?
it.
I never did see it. We did watch the.
We did watch the
trailer one
trailer
time.
for it, did we? Okay. Yeah.
Oh no, we did watch. Yeah,
I hadn't seen it. Though.
I love Steve
But
Zahn.
Steve Zahn is magic.
Giovanni Ribisi was in it.
He's very good as well.
He's a great actor. Did you see that one where he played the retarded kid? Him and Juliette Lewis were both retarded.
Yeah.
And they tried to have a relationship, and their families.
Wasn't
were
that hard for
against
Juliette Lewis
it.
to step into that role?
She's fucking 6 brain cells above retard as it is.
Is she the one in Natural Born Killers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She's dirt.
You don't ever see her playing a teacher.
What?
No, she's a prostitute and murderer. Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time. A prostitute, a murderer, or both.
Or a murdering prostitute.
Or druggie. She's probably a druggie in some movies.
Well, that kind of overlaps
Yeah.
with most of those. But yeah,
Oh, you know what? They really do need to legalize prostitution.
they do. It should
Why?
be illegal.
It's the oldest profession.
I don't know. There's a lot of girls
Yeah.
that you meet that are just they couldn't do anything else that could do all right and buy themselves a house. They get to pick if they want to fuck the person.
Yeah, it's not like you're a whore. You just got to fuck anybody. You can
Yeah,
be
it's-
picky, and you can make money, and you're providing a service. Especially with how many people there are now, and how hard it is to meet people.
Yeah.
Maybe some people just.
I think
wanna-
the closest they are to that is like
Instagram models.
cam shows and shit like that,
Yeah.
or those.
But look at how they regulate the porn industry. Regular testing and 100% use of condoms and all that stuff. Why not?
Yeah, I don't think I would
Legalize weed,
throw
legalize
that
prostitution.
money out there, but I think it's great. It's a great option, and I think it would calm a lot of people down.
I wouldn't pay for sex
Stimulate
either.
the economy.
But yeah, I
You're
do
always
believe.
paying for it, no matter
uh,
what.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Even if you're in a loving relationship, you're paying for sex. You bought her the wedding ring. You, whatever.
That's why you don't get married.
It would that would totally stimulate the economy.
I know. If I can
all
teach
those
my
shadow
children
dollars
one
that
thing, no
are
tax.
run now, you get tax them.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah,
It's
the
like
Fed
taxing
needs to
weed.
get
Look at
on
all the
this
money they're
weed
making
thing.
taxing weed.
Well, suddenly it's legal, and you've got all sorts of folks doing it.
Well, but they still have to launder it, even in Washington,
Which
because
is
the federal regulations say
insane.
that you can't.
Keep it in banks.
It's
Well,
such
banks won't
bullshit
keep it because it
Yeah.
could be seized.
because it's drug.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it's fucked. If they would legalize it on a national level,
They just need to reclassify the drugs instead of just having all the drugs. Drugs are bad.
well, and pot is misscheduled anyway. It's like a Schedule 1 or something, no medicinal use, yada yada. So it's one of those ones that just like they hammer you for it, and like why? I don't know. It doesn't lead to crime.
Yeah.
I mean, unless there's a Cheeto factory in your town.
It's like, oh man, Krispy Kreme's only a block away. It's not that far. It's time for an adventure, guys.
But it's so far. No, that's one of those things. Like, I just think they should legalize everything and tax the fuck out of it.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know.
I'm still not a big fan of hard drugs. I personally have not done any hard drugs.
I haven't either.
Even being offered them,
But it's
I
none of my
think I would
business.
really like cocaine, and that's why I've never tried it.
Pretty sure
So
I'd
it's
like that.
Yeah, I'm like, I might be too into that, and it does have addictive properties, so I will pass because that would make me a poor man.
Watch those early comic relief.
But
shows
I hate
with
needles.
Billy Crystal and
Meth is just
Robin
fucking
Williams.
gross. No,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
meth is for Nazi pilots, and that's about it.
well, a time and place for everything.
Yeah,
But some things have a very specific time and place.
yeah. World War II was
Yeah,
a
like-
great time for methamphetamine.
Like Nazi Germany, circa 1935 through 1945.
Yeah, I don't think it's any of my business what other people put in their bodies. And if it's legal, then people aren't going to prison for years for putting a substance in their body. Like, I get that it's addictive and it ruins lives, but none of my fucking business.
No, people should
Like-
only be in prison for really wronging other people.
I know.
Yeah.
And punish. And if they do something while intoxicated, increase the punishment.
Throw the book at him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
theft, murder,
Whatever. Oh, and
just
you do-
wronging your fellow man, but
Yeah. Instead of a hate
smoking
crime,
some
it's-
doobie.
Yeah, but even then, I think blaming whatever they were on, it's more the person's personality
I know.
that's going to get them into whatever trouble they're going to get into than whatever drug they're
Drugs
on.
or alcohol, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like drinking makes you a different person. It just kind of takes away some inhibitions and
When I drink, I don't decide I'm going to go.
yeah.
I don't personally decide I'm going to go get in fights or shoot places up. That's just not been my.
No, but there's people that do that.
That's not my drinking thing.
And I'm mean deep down, and so when I drink a bunch, I'm mean.
I'm a pretty passive guy, but when I drink, I will get a little frostier with folks when I think they deserve it. I'm not looking to start a fight, but sometimes I'll be like, "You're being a fuckhead right now."
When
Where
you
normally
get
I
older,
just hold my tongue and
Yeah,
let
yeah.
them
you
be
get
a
older,
fuckhead.
you hold your tongue less.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
noticed.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
I don't have very much patience for anybody. That's why I don't ever leave my house. Very rarely leave my
Our-
house.
Our family is not, I don't think, known for our patience. I don't think that's one of the traits that has come down genetically.
Yeah, I'd say patience isn't something I'm rolling around in.
I'm
Not a
more
lot of it.
patient now than I've ever been in my entire life, though.
Is it fatherhood?
No,
No.
but I've gotten to a point where, like,
Or is it just
I
kind of this
realize that
meditation?
a lot of shit doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Like,
there's that.
in 100 years, no one is going to care about me.
Right.
No one, not even my
Fucking
kids.
50 years, nobody's going to care about me.
Like, no one is going to remember anything that I did. No one will say my name, and I'm okay with that.
I'm going to change my name to Jeff Bezos. People remember me.
Well, and you hear that quote, like, every man dies twice. Once when he takes his last breath, and once when the last time somebody says his name. And so people like Alexander the Great are still alive, in a sense, because they're still making movies about the guy.
Yeah.
What we
They
do
still
now
teach him-
echoes in eternity.
Maximus.
There's presidents, former presidents that are almost dead
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
because they don't get mentioned.
Yeah, I mean,
Or they
when's the last time somebody said Millard Fillmore?
right.
You know?
Except for this reason
Yeah.
right here.
Like, I brought him up because he's a lesser known president. and
Fucking loser, Millard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If it
when
weren't for
I
history
was-
books.
Even 15 years ago, I wanted to be somebody who was talked about until the end of the world.
Yeah, I
And
wanted to
now
be.
I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And there will always be a digital echo of me now, too. And that kind of thing is like, oh, well,
Man, if my
I
digital
will
echo
always
could be
be-
hamster dance.
in the data sphere somewhere. And
So
Okay.
that's something that you maybe didn't consider is that there's some form of you that would exist beyond, say, what, like your grandparents or great grandparents or something like that.
A Facebook memorial.
Well, no, yeah, yeah.
well, and I think some of it
That's
might
all
be,
that exists
our grandpa's dad.
with the
Like-
sparkly screens.
People still like, which Huddleston do you belong to? You're not from Bud, are you? I heard that like last week.
No, Sunday. Somebody asked me, "Is like, so are you any relation to Bud?" It's like, yes, I am. I'm his great grandson.
That's right. It was Sunday. It was Sunday. Some dude who was we went to a storage unit to get the rest of Jenny's stuff out of there, and this old guy started talking about, and it's just like, yeah, I come down that way of Huddleston's, and it's like, can you imagine? I mean, the dude died before I was born.
78.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people still ask me about him. Like, I didn't know him. My
I got
mom
asked
knew
a
him.
lot when I was at the cable company because they'd see my name on my badge. But then those people were getting old now, so that's been a decade ago, so a bunch of those people are probably dead now.
Yeah.
But there still are a few. But then Grandpa was a school teacher, Bud's son, and people asked me about him. But shit, the kids he taught in school are in their late 60s and 70s now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, one of the harder things for me was going back to where I went to high school, or where I went to all through grade school and high school. Like it stayed pretty consistent for the entire 13 years, K through 12. Like a few teachers came and went, and then towards the end of my run there, a couple teachers kind of broke off. But then I could walk in there now, and I wouldn't recognize anybody.
You're gonna be 40, Ward.
Oh no! Don't shut up.
Your kids are almost out of school.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I mean, but it's kind of, that's a wake up call. I think you go into a place like that and you're like, oh, wow, time does move on.
Yeah. I'm convinced we're the last generation that's going to die.
I'm all right with that.
Me too. And we might survive long enough that you can download your brain into a computer somewhere and be a
That's
robot.
what I want. Do you want? No, do you not want that?
I always wanted that.
No,
Okay.
I don't want
wanted
that
it
at
You
so
all.
don't want
much-
that.
I
Okay.
wanted it so much that my 11-year-old son and I have conversations about it because he wants to do that, and he'll find robots in video games like what's the Metroid Ridley. There's a Mecha Ridley, and he's like, in the year 3000, that's what I'm going to look like. He's like, I'm going to find a way to download myself into a computer, and then I build myself progressively better robot bodies. And I was like, well, save me a seat.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted that. And it was weird because we never talked about it when he was little, and then he just kind of came up with the idea. And I was like, maybe he heard me say something about that at some point, and it planted the seed. But I don't think my son is ever going to die. Like, not really. Like, his consciousness is going to go on forever. And I'm okay with that. I'm more okay with that than me. Because I don't know that I wouldn't abuse that in some horrible fucking way. And I don't think that he would.
I welcome oblivion. I can't wait.
I could see that being all right, too. I'm comfortable with not existing, though, and I didn't used to be.
Yeah, I've become more comfortable. I still want to live forever in
Right.
some form or another, but as
You
time's
see
gone by.
Transcendence with Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this movie is exactly what I've
This
been
is what I
talking
want,
about
yeah.
since I was like 15. And
I just hope I don't die horribly. Cancer or something, some wasting illness. That'd be balls.
Right.
I've always said if I'm going to die,
I'll get tossed
I
on
wanna
some
suffer
compact
for
Presario
at
from
least a year.
1994 or something.
Ward's thinking again.
Don't overdo it. You don't have much cooling, Ward.
But like I always said, if I'm going to die, I want to die and I want to suffer for at least a year beforehand just in case the Buddhists are right and I'll come back as some higher being because I
geez.
suffered so much.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm getting it because everything hurts. But like literally everything on my body hurts all the time. And so maybe I'm earning that. maybe I'm going to come back at a higher vibrational frequency and be awesome. But yeah, cancer would be a bummer way to go.
It'd be a super bummer.
Yeah.
I think chemo would be the worst. You never see somebody
Depending on
chemo that looks...
the kind of cancer you get, I think I would turn off the chemo. It's like, yeah, don't even give it to me. I'm not going to put more poison in my body just in the off chance it kills the bad stuff and doesn't kill all the good stuff.
Are those
Right.
pictures of
There better be like a
radiation?
real high odds of it, like
70 or more.
beating it, because otherwise
Yeah.
it's just like make me comfortable.
50 or 50-50 is like juice me up and let me go.
Hook me up with that morphine drip, and I'll have a great last 6 months or whatever while my body wastes away.
I don't. Wow, this is well, we're on the same. I don't understand why all the pro-choice people aren't pushing assisted suicide at the same time.
Right.
Because if you're gonna kill babies that don't have a choice, why not let people who are old and have all their faculties make the choice to end their
Yeah.
life? It makes a lot of sense, because wasting illnesses, maybe they're just tired of being around. Everybody should be able to make the choice, and it shouldn't be it shouldn't be taboo, and it shouldn't be illegal.
I'm with Jack. That's that's where I stand on assisted suicide.
As portrayed
a
by Al
pioneer.
Pacino.
I'm with Jack Kevorkian. Jack is not whack.
He died, didn't he?
Who?
Kevorkian? Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's too many people as it is. And
Yeah.
every day there's more than too many people. And whether you believe or not, there may be some climate change going on. So
I'm pretty
why don't
sure
we-
there's
why don't we
something
dial it back?
something going on.
We're not seeing it too bad here in the LC Valley.
Not so
we live
far.
in God's country. Anybody listening from California, don't move here.
Stay away. It's toxic. Hanford.
You want to
Yeah,
go to
there's
Torpedo
that-
where the rest of your friends are going.
There's that Yellowstone volcano. Be scared of that.
Oh,
But that's a planet killer.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
when that goes off, everyone is gonna die.
And that's the only thing we have to worry about here. We don't have hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, a minuscule possibility, and that only depends on where you reside.
And it's not gonna kill you, flood. Like
no.
there's always enough higher ground here. I mean, if it comes down to it, you could drive out to the Blues, really.
We just don't have that stuff. And that's why, I mean, America is so big. It's so much bigger than just about every other country except for maybe Russia, China.
Canada.
Yeah, but
Canada's
Canada's only
entire population is along their
semi-populated.
southern-
Yeah.
But think about
you
that.
go up north, it gets colder,
If
but
things get
yeah,
shitty,
you just
like-
keep moving north.
Global warming wise, just go north.
It's going to warm up in Canada.
Yeah, zombie apocalypse. We'll freeze them out. Just keep going north. Don't stop. I don't know where I was going.
You were on assisted suicide.
And then I went
My-
to climate change.
My solution is to just send people off world. Shoot people at Mars.
Oh God, let's do it.
That's. I mean,
Well,
there's
yeah,
a-
but we got to shit or get off the
I
pot on
want to
this
see
fucking
that
space exploration.
Yeah, I want to see it in my lifetime. I really, really hope we get something going on the moon and then something going on Mars.
light just
Those
went-
aren't LEDs yet. LEDs are the bomb.
Are they?
Oh yeah.
I just
I put
got
them in my
done.
kitchen.
I just got done putting a new ballast in that middle one, and the original ballast weighed about 25 pounds,
It's more than my baby.
and the new ballast weighed probably
6
6 ounces.
6 ounces.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's this little. It's this. Well, maybe okay. I'll say
limits
10
my
ounces,
ability
but it's just this little thing.
But less than a
But the
pound.
other thing was just this like big brick. And
Well,
just
and then you trade
dense.
out those compact or fluorescent lights for LEDs because they like Costco sells LEDs like those. Dude, they last for a long time and they don't cost.
The
anywhere
power
as much.
consumption is
Yeah,
probably a lot less
it's
too.
almost nothing.
It's like 6 cents a year or something absurd.
Do they make them that long?
I don't know. You might have to shop online for those. Costco sold a couple different sizes, and they worked in my kitchen. And I bought them 4 years ago, and I still haven't replaced them.
was
But
at
I think the
Costco
life
today.
is at least 10 years.
I hate going to Costco because they have all those TVs up front, and you just look at them and you're like, "Fuck."
Oh, but no. 65-inch Vizio
We just-
4K Ultra HD
I just-
is $600 right now.
Yeah, my wife's grandma just got one, and Peter and Jesse just got one of those ones. I want one just because I want the Ultra HD. My TV that I have right now is 7 years old. It's 70 inches, and I want to like in my head. I think every time I get a new TV, I have to go bigger. But bigger right now, beyond 65 inches, is so
That's
much
the
more
price
expensive.
jump. Yeah,
That's-
if you go to 70, it's almost $1,000 more.
Yeah. And-
So 65 is the old.
That's kind of where you're capped. now.
48-inch
Yeah.
TV. If you're trying to keep it on a budget,
Right.
And really, why do you need a TV that big?
you always need one bigger.
I know, but why?
Got to go bigger.
That is the true.
It's the I think it's partially like we grew up that way because we was always like bigger, and
Do you remember that
15
little
years
tiny
ago-
black and white we used to play Nintendo on? It was just this big. It was like a travel TV.
The screen was that big, but the body
The
was
box was
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I knew my dad really loved me when he brought in his 9-inch black and white TV one day when I got sick and let me watch it in my bedroom.
Ooh.
That was like love to me. Yeah, I mean, it was a big deal.
When I think about TV and getting a bigger one, the thing I always think about is football. I don't even have a favorite football team. I just like watching football on TV.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And thinking about like Thanksgiving and watching football with my uncle and my grandpa and the grainy fucking 26-inch TV we used to watch football on. And now you have it in
Now it
Ultra
feels
HD
like
and you
you're
see
on the
every
field.
blade of grass or AstroTurf because nobody has grass anymore. So, it's just, and all the things they've done with football, casting the first down line.
The first down line.
Oh, I can
I
remember
remember seeing
first
that the first time. I was like, "Oh
I'm
man,
staring
that's
at it, I was like,
amazing!
that is
how
the
do they
best
do that?"
thing to ever fucking happen to football in the history of mankind.
Since they gave Madden that marker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's the future right there.
Even people I like,
It was.
I dislike when they're talking
Because they're
about their
doing it in
football
real
team.
time. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you
It was a
doing
complete
this?
game changer as the audience. I've never been to NFL live. I have no desire to do so because I'd be sitting back somewhere.
Like
and
where's
only
the
be
first
able to
yard
sit-
line?
You
Or
got-
where's the
Yeah, you've got all these cameras that follow the ball, and you can
Mm-hmm.
see everything, and you've got instant replay, and you don't have to watch the big jumbotron to watch the instant replay.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you pay over $200 for a ticket to something you can watch for free in your living room and just
this
have
up-close
the
experience,
perfect,
yeah.
the perfect view for every play?
Yeah.
I don't understand why people pay so much to see sports live.
There's something to be said about the actual live experience.
Concert. I mean, if you've
Baseball.
got to be in a big sweaty group of other people, you might as well just go to
I
a
can
concert.
see baseball for sure because I don't like watching baseball on TV.
I don't either.
But I think if I was in
going to the park.
at
I
a park
get bored
game,
watching.
it'd be fun.
I just like drinking and eating at the ballpark. Baseball is just boring.
I love watching hockey live.
I need to watch hockey live.
We should go this year.
I enjoy hockey since I understand how it's played now. Because you can pay attention to what's happening. You know where the puck's going to
Let
go.
me ask you this: would you play hockey?
No.
Why?
Because he's almost 40.
Yeah.
I'm playing hockey.
I know.
Come
I
play.
know.
You guys got to come play hockey.
Negative. I have no
man.
desire to ice skate. They took out the rollaway. My skating days are over.
Yep.
Man,
Rollaway was the last
I
one.
really got to get people to come play hockey.
That's going to be hard.
I know.
I'm sore enough as it is. I can't imagine breaking my ass playing hockey. And the level of investment for equipment. is
Yeah,
just
it's
absurd.
expensive. It was. I bought all new and not like. I bought cheap new.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
what's
you're
the
renting a
least I
little
can
bit.
spend to get into this? And it's like
It was probably
$900.
$700.
Fuck.
So $860 is what it
Yeah.
was.
Dude, I would find
That's
a
too
different
much.
hobby. That would price me right out.
But I don't have to do it again.
If
For
I
a
had
while.
860,
And
I
I
would
can
just buy another
gradually
gun.
replace things as I go. Buy a gun.
I would just buy another gun.
I love shooting though.
Shooting is very cathartic.
Yeah. Unless you do
You
it
don't
in the
shoot.
military.
No, I do a little bit. I don't do it as much as I'd like to. I've got guns.
Military ranges are the worst.
Are they?
They take something that's so awesome and they turn it into the worst experience. Nobody likes range day. But God, you go out. There's that one up the
Up at Soden Creek. Yeah, they closed it for fire danger
Did they?
when everything was green.
That one was fantastic.
Yeah, it is a nice spot.
And
We
you
just
can-
drove 200 yards up and shot into a gully. So
Yeah,
There's a place to shoot up there?
used to be.
You
you can shoot just about anywhere as long as there isn't a posted no shooting sign.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well,
See, I'd rather go
if you're
somewhere and just
familiar with
because
the territory.
I came from Montana, so like we didn't go to a gun range
No.
or somewhere like that. We went and we went to a gravel pit.
and it's almost always a gravel pit.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not a gravel pit, it's like a slot canyon, and you just shoot down range
There's
and
one
don't hit
out
the
that
rocks.
way, isn't there? You can go to.
Out of like Pomeroy, yeah.
I can't remember. Josh and I went someplace one time, and right before I sold him my. Yeah.
I'll have to go sometime. I need to get back into it. My 10-year-old, he or 11-year-old now, I guess. He went to Scouts and he did a Boy Scout camp last week, and one of his things was shooting, and he made the Dime Club. He'd never shot really before. Like, he'd shot one other time before, and the Dime Club is that like you can get like 5 shots, and then if you cover them with a dime.
Damn, that's video games though.
Yeah,
The
probably.
hand-eye coordination.
Yeah. But well, we better get out of here. Yeah,
Oh, it's time to go. Let's do it.
it's a good
This
episode.
is another episode. Hey, if you spent your time here, really, maybe it wasn't spent poorly because we talked about everything.
We went all over the place this episode, but
Deep philosophical musings there.
this one's
talked
going to
about
be
climate
hard
change.
to like.
We talked.
Yeah.
How do I quantify this? How do I distill it down into a sentence?
Do it right now so that I can listen to the last 3 minutes of the episode for my show notes.
Movies and shows with Ian McShane. Movies on Amazon, shows on Netflix. Climate change, abortion, assisted suicide, shooting guns,
Shooting people at
legalizing, legalizing drugs, legalizing prostitution.
The singularity.
Downloading ourselves into computers
Yeah.
so we can do this bullshit 24 hours a day at you.
Yeah.
And the sweet, sweet nothingness of oblivion. This has been Time Spent Poorly.
Thanks so much. TSPN.fun. You can find us there. info@tspn.fun. If you want to email us, you can call into the show also during the show or after the show and leave voicemails. What else am I missing here?
Derek, you sick bastard, you should have at least called
Subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. I got to check some of those to make sure they're still active. Stitcher.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Ring
Don't
that
forget to
bell.
Ring the bell so you get notifications.
Oh, and then we got the music. It was a fantastic show, everybody. We missed Derek, though.
Yes.
He'd have had so much to include. We wouldn't even been able to talk.
Next week, Derek returns, and my brother-in-law Jason will be a guest on the show. Woo!
And I promised to get more drunk. I went to a concert last night, and I'm whipped.
You're just taking it easy tonight. All right, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time. Later.